Diving once more into the enchanting tapestry of Indonesia, our expedition now turns towards the lesser charted terrains of Lombok and the Gillies. Much like our Bali, Flores and Java escapades, we will unravel not just the celebrated spots, but also the hidden treasures, unlocking the unique character of Lombok. From the surf havens of Kuta to the towering majesty of Rinjani, every step reveals a different story, as I navigate with the tiny scooters through the diverse landscapes of this often overlooked paradise. So, buckle up as I venture once more beyond Bali's horizons, exploring the untouched wonders that await in Lombok. This is Indonesia, not just Bali. This video is brought to you by CyberGhost VPN. For my last few weeks in Indonesia this time around, I decided to set foot on Lombok, an island situated in the West Nusa Tenggara province of Indonesia, which is home to round about 4 million inhabitants. Here, the rhythm is different. A tranquil melody compared to Bali's vibrant symphony, Lombok still dances to the beat of its own drum. With a predominantly Muslim population, this serene island away from the bustling thoroughfares awaits with natural splendor. But the rising tide of tourism is beginning to reshape the island. Since I've explored Java, Bali and now Flores in the past few weeks, I just need a little bit of a break. And Lombok is actually very famous for its surf. So I have my surfboard here and I think I'm gonna surf for a few days before I get back into exploration mode. But then I'm really interested to see what this island has to offer, because it's a little bit of a contrast to Bali. Bali has a lot of tourists come in. It kind of turned into this like hipster Instagram mecca, and Lombok is a little bit more raw. You can see actually here in Kuta there's also of course certain places that are more expensive. There is some of these like hipster cafes and restaurants as well, which are more on the pricier side of things. But for the rest of Lombok, it's actually pretty much as it used to be like maybe 10 years ago in Bali. On the other hand, you can already see a lot of construction happening here, mainly because of the racetrack you have right next to Kuta. So there's a lot of investment happening, and I don't know how long it will be like this. And right now I'm in the south of the island, so this is more like the place to explore the beaches and the surf, which is around here. And then I'm gonna move to the other parts of the island, see the west, see the north and the mountains as well. So there's some waterfalls here, which is supposed to be pretty nice. There is Mount Rinjani, so more of the rural adventures. Let's get onto the next chapter of this documentary. Alright, this down here is Kuta. This is where I'm staying. You see the Kuta Bay right there? Beautiful viewpoint from here. In a few short years, Kuta has changed from a sleepy seaside village into the main focus of tourism development in Lombok. One reason for this is also its location, because Lombok's international airport is only a 20-minute drive from Kuta, and some of the island's most beautiful beaches can be found in close proximity. After renting a scooter for a whole month and filling it up with gas, I met up with Kiko and Carlotta one last time before we parted ways to check out the first surf spot together. For this, we drove half an hour eastwards to Krupuk, which is one of the most popular spots in the area. Lombok, let's see.
After that fun session, I was on my own schedule. I decided to use the freedom of having my scooter and went on a little beach exploration, which was also a great chance to get out of Kuta and get a taste what driving through rural Lombok feels like.
As you know, I'm staying in Kuta, Lombok. This is the busiest area actually of the island, but then you only take your scooter, you drive 15 minutes or 30 minutes and you're in places like that. Empty, super white beaches. This even is one of the more popular ones. This is Selong Belanak. Super white beach, actually sand, so I have a beach break here. So lots of fisher boats and the scenery is just incredible. Full up of beautiful beach, white sand, and then you have those green hills over there, rice terraces around. Man, so when you're in the south of Lombok, one of the best things to do is basically take your scooter and explore the many beaches that are around. Next beach is Tampa Beach. Such a nice beach. So empty. Next up is Pantai An. Another really popular beach actually, right next to Kuta. Beautiful, beautiful colors, white sand, blue colored water, and actually also surf spot, but it's very, very good for swimming as well. You have a few warungs here where you can eat, not only a few, you have many warungs here where you can eat, get a coconut, and just enjoy the day in the sun. Beautiful. Alright, next up is another sunset point. It is called Seger, and it's actually on the side of the Bay of Kuta. Beautiful spot to watch the sunset. It's called Seger, which actually means hill, but it's actually 3 hills, or 4 hills even, where you can sit on and watch the sunset. So find your little quiet spot and enjoy the sunset.
For my first stint in Kuta, I chose to stay in a hostel to connect with like-minded travelers I could go surfing with.
And I must say, for the price I'm paying here, it's super nice. So, of course, it's a private room, so I have my own bed, I have a little working area, I set it all up already. A space to put all my stuff. Then I have a bathroom, of course. And yeah. It's actually super nice. But the best part about this hostel is actually the garden and pool area, which is right in front of my room. Let me show you.
A typical surf day in Kuta starts very early to enjoy the sunrise while being in the water catching waves, or at least trying to do so in my case. Followed by a lovely breakfast with fresh fruits and the best view before heading back into town. Besides surfing, I used my days to plan the next leg of my adventure, but I also got some work done in the many cafes and restaurants in town, using their public Wi-Fi. Here I used the service of today's sponsor, CyberGhost VPN. Because when you are browsing through public Wi-Fi, you never know who else is connected to that network. That's where a VPN comes into play, which is a virtual private network that helps you to avoid being hacked or falling victim to malicious sites. CyberGhost VPN lets you mask your IP address and, above all, encrypt your data and redirect all your internet traffic via secure tunnel. Perfect for surfing the internet anonymously and securely, whether from home or from a public Wi-Fi network in a cafe, restaurant or hotel. But CyberGhost VPN also lets you access geographically blocked sites and platforms like those based in the US and many other countries. So you can enjoy your subscriptions to Netflix or Prime Video, since certain content is not the same in all countries. With over 38 million users worldwide, CyberGhost VPN is your guarantee of a reliable VPN. By using the link in the description, you'll benefit from a special rate and 4 months for free.
Apart from all the beaches, another very popular site is located right next to Kuta. This is the Circuit Mandalika. It's a popular site, at least for the locals, because it's kind of a prestige project. It's a racetrack which was recently finished, and it is also the reason why you can find all this road network which was just built all around Lombok, just to make people come here faster. The airport is also a new construction which is kind of connected also to the racetrack. Country which is moving on 2 wheels is only logical to have a racetrack for MotoGP races, and they already had one MotoGP race. They will have one this year. They were hosting the World Superbike last year and also plan on doing that this year. So there is usage of that, but there's a lot of controversy around it.
The Mandalika project is a massive development aiming to turn this stretch of Lombok into a world-class tourist destination. It was inaugurated in 2017 and involves a $500 million investment by the government of Qatar. Plans have been detailed for hotel, villa and high-end resort projects, including a Disneyland-style theme park and a golf course. Yet, beneath the glossy surface, controversy whispers through the palm trees. Some applaud the vision, envisioning economic growth and a tourist hotspot. On the flip side, critics raise concerns about environmental impact, cultural shifts, and the price paid by local communities. The project was heavily criticized by the United Nations due to reports of locals being dispossessed of their homes, lands and livelihoods. Even to the date of my visit in 2023, it was known that of the 12 Mandalika Circuit land dispute cases, only 2 have been processed.
This will probably completely change Kuta. Not only the racetrack, but everything that is connected to it, because what Indonesia plans to do is to turn Lombok into a new Bali. Alright, after a successful surf session, we came to watch the sunset in Bukit Merese, which is right next to Tanjungan. It's golden hour, the light is golden, and it's not a secret spot anymore, as you can tell. Woo. The further you go, the less people there are. Found our own little sunset hill. Man, sun is setting right there, and here, over here, this is Tanjungan, what you see here. And you see it's low tide actually right now. Like the water's coming from there into the bay. All the way over there is Kerupuk. Cheers!
Then, after a week of enjoying the surf life in and around Kuta, with all its amenities, it was time to venture further, to see what the rest of Lombok looks like. So it was time to pack. Alright, here I am. Big bag is ready. Left a little bit of stuff here in the hostel. And now we're ready to hit the road. Left the surfboard also here. If I need a board, I can rent one. So let's do this, let's go. Explore Lombok. Now leaving the south coast of the Western Peninsula and heading north. So this is the last look to the last beach. Man, it's incredible. The drive here is just insane. The more I drove away from Kuta, the more rural it became. The roads got more and more narrow and the villages got significantly smaller. But what struck me most was how friendly the people were and how I got greeted with a smile just as I drove by. Scenes that were quite similar when I was exploring the lesser known parts of Java in the first episode. About 2.5 hours driving, I arrived to the west part of Lombok, that kind of peninsula, and I'm staying right at the water. Look at that. There's the water, some sunbeds over there to chill. It's super quiet here. So it's a place with a lot of bungalows, and I have this bungalow here, number 1, just for myself. So let me give you a little tour. So you come up here, and then you have this outside seating area. Here is the bedroom. There's no AC here, but we have a fan and we have this mosquito net. So I think this will do. It's not too hot here actually. A little bit complimentary water. And then this is a feature I really like. The bathroom is super big. Has a very nice view. It's half open. Yeah, and on top of that you have breakfast included. You can use bicycles for free. They have kayaks you can use, and if you want you can take a boat to go actually to the gillies that are just in front of us. This is Gili Gede, and between these islands apparently there's some really good snorkeling spots. So maybe I will do that tomorrow. Let's see. So first thing of today is a little bit of a local experience, because the receptionist is actually going every day to the market to buy fresh fruit, vegetable and fish for the place. And I decided to have a fish barbecue tonight, so I can go with him, join him on the market and select the fish I want to have for tonight. Let's do this. Okay, this is Astam, and now we're going to the market with the scooter. All right.
Dragon fruit and this.
There we go.
Yeah.
Everything. After returning from the market, I hopped back onto my own scooter to drive to the westernmost point of the Sekotong Peninsula, which is also the westernmost point of Lombok. My destination is one of the best surf breaks in the country. But the access is a true challenge, as the paved road ends a few kilometers before and makes you push and pull the scooter along dirt roads with potholes, muddy terrain, and over a hill to get to the beach.
We made it to Desert Point. It was an adventurous ride, but it is deserted. Actually, problem is it's not really on today. Like, it's super flat, only 2-foot waves, so you need way more size here for the spot to work. But if it works, it's one of the best waves in the world. It's actually in the top 3 because of this shallow reef. The waves here are barreling, and they're barreling fast. So if you want to surf here, you really need to know what you're doing, because otherwise you can get severely injured. And a lot of people get hurt here and come out with reef cuts because it's so fast and it's so shallow. But if you catch a wave here, it's probably the wave of your life. Oh man, I had to hurry up, man. It started raining, so I still hope I can make it up the hill, this treacherous hill, in time just before it gets too slippery. So, whew, was droning a little bit too long, so fingers crossed.
Back at the village, I went to have lunch at one of the street-side restaurants. Of course, I had to go for my favorite Indonesian food, bakso.
Alright, time for the next adventure. Gotta take this kayak here, have a paddle as well. Better have a paddle. And then I'm over to Gili Gili and do a little hike, maybe do a little bit of snorkeling here with me. So let's do it. But we can make it to Gili Gili. Let's see. There we are. at front of the Gili. I left Lombok. Bye bye Lombok, and now it's Gili Gili.
Gili simply translates into small island. The secret Gilis are 12 lesser known islands just off the coast of the Sekotong Peninsula. Unlike their bustling counterparts in the north, the 3 islands of Gili T, Gili Meno and Gili Air, these Gilis offer a serene escape away from the tourist crowds.
Took me about 15 minutes of paddling, and now I'm gonna go on a little hike. Let's do this. Oh, it's so relaxing to do this walk. You pass by little fishermen villages. You see these huge palm trees you have here, mangroves, beaches. You see the other Gilis over there actually right now. Very, very relaxing. It's a complete contrast to Kuta, that's for sure. And it's an interesting insight to the other side of Lombok, the rural life, which you can see in villages like that, if it's on the island or on the other side in Lombok. So my takeaway from the western part is it's very quiet. You can have a relaxed few days here if you want. You can go snorkeling and diving. I didn't do that this time because right now with the currents, the water is not really clear, and I have done a lot of snorkeling already in Komodo. But apparently these Gilis, the secret Gilis, are even a better spot for diving and snorkeling. So, if you want, you can also stay on this island. There's some bungalows here, there's a restaurant here. Looks super clean and nice. Right now it's off season, so looks like it is actually, right now it's closed. But I think one more month and they open here. It's a beautiful spot, very quiet, very chill. Okay, heading back now, and I have something very exciting waiting for me.
Alright, it is dinner time, and as you remember, in the morning we were at the market and we got a red snapper, and right now Astan is working his magic. He's preparing the fish right here, and then he's gonna put it on the barbecue. Right. Okay. That's the final result. From the market to the preparation to the grilling to the table. Alright, let's dig in. Cheers. Okay, this is it from the west of Lombok. Now I'm heading north to Senggigi. It's gonna take me about 2 hours. Need to find a gas station to put some new fuel into the tank. Yeah, and then it's all beaches and resorts. From the quiet Sekotong Peninsula, this drive took me to the capital city of Lombok called Mataram, which is quite the contrast in matters of landscape, but especially when it comes down to the traffic and general vibe. The city is home to nearly 500,000 inhabitants and functions as the economic, cultural and education center of the island. But my destination was located a bit further north. I made it after like 2 hours of driving. Man, Google sent me on some weird ways. Don't trust Google. When you go to Mataram, just follow the signs. It's much better to go on the highway than to go through all these rice fields and all these small places. Now I arrived at the place where I'm staying. It's a fancy resort, Jeeva Klui. I got a super cool discount, so I said, why not? Because this is Senggigi. And so I stepped into a parallel universe and got taken to my very own luxurious bungalow. Okay, I have a little bell here, and then we enter here. Okay. Let's not look at the view. First, let's look at the room. So, this is it. TV, little seating area. You have a view to the other bungalows actually. So I have this like ocean view bungalow, which you will see in a second. Then you come in here. This is where, there's the light. So you have the tea coffee maker. It's probably, a safe. And a fridge. What's in the fridge? Nothing. That's sad. At least we have some coffee here and some tea. Alright, then over here is actually, here, this is where I should put my luggage. I'm not used to this luxury. And then you have all this space. You have a kimono, you have some sandals here. Yeah, it's very nice, and as you can tell, I didn't even address that. I drove behind a coal truck and I look like I work in the mine, and this is how I got to the check-in, and people, they were just looking at me like, so
can I help you?
And I'm like, I want to check in. I was just driving behind the coal truck. But now the highlight of this whole place is actually the view. So here the bedroom, and then you can open this one here, and you have a whole outside area. Man, I can have a big party here. I can invite some people. And then that is the view. How is that? That's incredible, eh? This is simply amazing. Alright, I would say it's time to go for a shower. And then, I want to show you what else you can actually see here in Senggigi. While I'm getting ready, let's talk about the religion in Lombok. The island's indigenous Sasak people are predominantly Muslim. However, before the arrival of Islam, Lombok experienced a long period of Hindu and Buddhist influence that reached the island through Java. A minority Balinese Hindu culture remains in Lombok. Hinduism is followed by ethnic Balinese and by a minority of the indigenous Sasak. All the main Hindu religious ceremonies are celebrated in Lombok, and there are many villages throughout Lombok that have a Hindu majority population. Altogether, it is commonly stated that 10 to 15% of the island's population is Hindu.
One of the places to visit in Lombok, which is not a beach, is one of the most important Hindu temples here in Lombok. It's called the Pura Batu Bolong. It is situated on the rock right here, looking out into the ocean. It has 14 altars and is visited by many worshippers, especially during full moon. As the resort is waking up, I'm gonna leave this place. Before I show you later on more of the resort life, I want to show you what Senggigi is all about, and these are the beaches. And for me, actually the most beautiful beaches are located north of Senggigi. So I picked out a few beaches which I'm gonna show you. So I'm gonna grab the scooter, take you there, and then we take a little walk along the beaches of Senggigi. And we are starting this exploration on the northernmost point of this little beach tour of mine. We're here on the Nipa Hill, and this down there is the first beach I wanted to show you. This is Nipa Beach. It's one of my favorite beaches here in the area because there's not so many constructions around. There's no big hotels or resorts. It's still pretty empty, and you can find your own little spot to hang out and enjoy a day by the beach. So while you see Nipa Beach down there, if you go on the other side of the hill, you can actually see the famous gillies. So there you have, this one is Gili T, then you have Gili Meno and Gili Aya, just over there.
Senggigi started gaining attention as a tourist destination in the 80s. The area's scenic beauty, with its sweeping bays, white sand beaches and views of the three popular Gili Islands, attracted visitors looking for a more relaxed alternative to Bali. Over the following years, Senggigi has witnessed the development of various resorts, hotels and accommodations. The beachfront areas became particularly popular for establishing resorts, offering visitors a chance to enjoy the tropical paradise. So it's a bit of a contrast to the vibe in Kuta, which caters more to surfers and young independent travelers.
I'm down at Nipa Beach, and this is what I was talking about. Nobody here. There's a few small warungs over there and a lot of fisher boats, but apart from that, no people here. So I'm here all by myself, especially on that stretch of the beach on the northern side. There's nothing here. It's pretty wild. Nice, I like that. Malimbo Beach, here we are. This is even more quiet than Nipa Beach where we've been before. There's even less warungs here, it's just a few small places, a few fisher boats, so it's more wild. There's literally nobody here than just me and that guy over there fishing. I really like this. It's very, very quiet, very chill. And what you can see here as well is the typical black sand. This is a characteristic of this side of the island. You have these black sand beaches, and here it's particularly black. You can see that here. And this is because of the volcano. So this is black volcano sand. Now I'm on Malimbo Hill, which is a viewpoint right next to Malimbo Beach, where we've just been.
Over there is Malimbo Cliff. This is private land now, so somebody's building a nice villa there. And over there you can see the Gillies again. If you are into lost places or abandoned buildings, this is something for you. This one here is called Villa Hantu, a construction site which was abandoned by its owner. It's located on a cliff right next to the next beach I wanted to show you, this down there. And this is just such an incredible spot for its views. I mean, it's kind of quirky as well. This is the pool. Could do a little bit of a cleanup. But the views from here are just insane. So for sunset, this must be one of the best spots in all of Senggigi to come to. And it's not really known. So if you look on the map, search for Villa Hantu, and then come here for sunset. Setangi Beach, and up there I actually met a local guy. His name is C, and he said, come down to my spot. We built a sunset spot here, Hondok Sunset. They built it over the last 3 years. Look at that, beautiful. So they have all these things they found on the beach here. Wilson. That's the bar. And you come here. Look at it, all the flip-flops, huh? Here, all the flip-flops they found on the beach. So nice. And so these are the guys who made that. Say hello to YouTube. Okay, on a mission. Get a coconut all the way. Oops, look at that.
Bule monkey.
Bule monkey. Kumba. Good job. Bravo. Yeah. Way to do it.
It is raining and I changed the attire because the last beach I wanted to introduce you to is Kluwi Beach, and as you can tell it's right in front of the resort where I'm staying, but Huspart is still accessible, so you can come here even though you're not staying at a resort. There's also a part of the beach which is publicly accessible anyway because there's Varungs, there's a surf shack. And I just talked with the owner of the surf shack for like an hour. He called up his brother to get me aboard. And now I'm gonna join the guys there in the water because there's also surf in Senggigi. It's not like super great, but it is raining. There's not much else to do, so why not go for a little surf? Let's do it.
All right, we came to Augie's surf shack. He organized me aboard right over there. So now let's try to catch a couple. You!
That was fun. It always takes me like half an hour to understand the surf spot. So here, because of the shallow reef, it's pretty fast waves. So I was actually catching some, but as always, it was usually when I didn't have the camera or when the camera was not turned on. Anyway, I had fun, and that's the most important thing about surfing. Now I'm heading back to my resort, which is literally, there is the surf shack, and here is the resort. So if you're staying in this resort, make sure to check out the surf shack from Ogek here. He also gives lessons. Super nice guy, with the local boys here. That was a fun afternoon.
It's that time again. Gotta pack the bags and head to the next destination. I used the time I have here to the max. 12 o'clock is checkout time. Now it's 11:45. Made my way to the harbor, parked the scooter, and now I'm gonna organize myself a boat ticket to go to Gili Trawangan. That's a 15-minute walk to the place where I'm staying. There's no cars on this island. You can only walk, take a bicycle or an electric scooter. Nice. What am I doing here? It's totally not my style actually, but it just so happened that I met these French girls on the Komodo boat trip, and their plan was to come here, and so we talked a little bit, and I thought, why not come for the weekend, join them for like a day or two and party a little bit. So that's the only reason why I'm here. Basically just came here to party a little bit. I was missing that, so every now and then I also party. And actually for my time here I scored a super good deal for this place, which is only I think €8 a night for me, with breakfast included. And this is my little bungalow here. It has AC, so it's nice and cold in here. Then I have my own private bathroom, kind of an outdoor shower, which is nice, and of course the pool. Super cool. So one of the things to do here is basically to rent a bike. First things first, rent a bike and then explore the island on the bike. It's actually pretty nice. You get around fast and still in a good pace to do sightseeing. Nice way to explore the island.
After cycling around, I was meeting up with my friends Noemi and Ophélie from the Komodo boat tour at one of the many beach clubs for sunset, before we continued on our bikes to the party district of the island, where we hit the dance floor. The next day started rather relaxing, before we explored what else this island has to offer.
So that's another activity which is unexpectedly possible here. Surfing actually, on Gili T. So you can take surf classes here, like the girls. First surf class. There we go. It's actually a good surf, huh? Outside, looks okay. Alright, another thing you can do here in Gili T is snorkeling, and this is a spot where you can actually see turtles. So let's see if we're lucky. Let's go.
After this fun weekend with friends, I went back to the mainland and jumped onto my scooter again to head into the mountains of Lombok, or more specifically, the mountain, and drove all the way up to the village of Senaru, which is located on the foot of the Rinjani volcano and home to some spectacular waterfalls.
After 2 hours of driving, I made it to my homestay here near the Tiu Kelep waterfall. It's a little bit of a change to the last place I've been to. It's still very nice, so let me give you a little tour. This is the balcony terrace, however you want to call it. So you come in here. That is, yeah, that's my room. And that's basically it. Here's the spa area. But actually, the view here is super nice because here on this terrace, they even brought me some coffee. At the welcome drink, and here you have this garden. Up there is actually the volcano, but it's in the clouds, so you cannot see it right now. Yeah, this all for round about 8 euros a night with breakfast.
Beside the waterfall, you can actually visit a traditional village here in Senaru. It's a little bit up the road, not far away from the coffee plantation we're going to next, which is very interesting to see how the houses used to be in this area. So you can walk around the village, have a look at the houses. This traditional village is actually the first village of the Sasak tribe that live mainly on the island of Lombok, making up about 85% of Lombok's population. They are related to the Balinese in language and ancestry, although, as stated before, the Sasak are predominantly Muslim. Alright, next up is a visit to a local coffee plantation, which is just above one of the two waterfalls here. It turns out that this coffee plantation is no longer here anymore. I mean, there's some plants over there, but it's not the place which it used to be 3 years ago. So probably another victim of the pandemic, I think. But what you still have here is the viewpoint with an amazing view to the Tiu Kelep waterfall from above. So if you're here with a scooter or you get some transportation up here, it's definitely worth it to come here. It's definitely worth a visit. Look at that. This is the view you get from here. So just when you are in the area of the coffee plantation, there's a lot of stuff growing here actually. I think it's because of the volcano that the soil here is super nutritious. So you have these cacao plants, banana, and of course the coffee plants we've seen earlier. So this seems to be like a really good farming area. It is 5 p.m. in the afternoon. It's time to visit what I'm here for, the waterfall. So it's actually two waterfalls we can visit here. It's Sendangela and Tiu Kelep. Tiu Kelep is the more famous one, but they're actually right behind each other. So it's an easy hike down. I'm actually already on the pass. I passed the gate already. There is no entrance fee. They just ask you for a little donation. So I paid about 20,000, like €1 something, which I think is fair for like the work they do to do this way. So I actually super fair price. You don't need a guide. You can basically just go by yourself. And I can already hear the waterfall. So let's see it. This is simply incredible. Look at that. Wow. So this is Sidang Gila waterfall. And the impressive thing is that it's not only a waterfall, but it's coming through all these plants there, which makes it look super cool. Wow. We keep going up the stream to see the second one. Ooh, it's wet here. Whee! So this looks way more comfortable. After walking the riverbed for 15 minutes, I figured might not be the way. Alright, here we are. Gotta be quick now, because sunset is in like half an hour. The stairs are already broken. I hope the bridge still works. Oh, also partially broken. Super! So, oh, and it's partially broken as well. So, just gotta see where you step. It's actually pretty interesting. You walk on this aqueduct and then you come more upstream and you see like this whole construction behind it. It's pretty impressive. I think they're using that to actually get the water down to the villages. And we're still going. I thought it's not gonna be far, especially with my flip-flops. It's not great. But yeah, I crossed the river already twice. I hope I'm still on the path actually. Well, well. Now we're in the jungle. Hati hati they say. Be careful. Now I know why. Misadventures. Still, I just met two people and they still say it's still a little bit of a way. I think I still have like, I don't know, 20 minutes maybe until it's dark. Yeah, let's see how it goes. Now it's not that far anymore. Alright, see that? Yes. Aha, I see it. Almost there. Tiukelet. This is insane. It's actually two waterfalls. There's one above the other one. Alright, now I need to hurry up to get back while it's still bright, so I'm not getting lost or drowning in the river or something. Let's go back. It's kind of sketchy with flip-flops, so if you come, bring some proper shoes. So here I am, the hiking expert from Patagonia, Norway, Kilimanjaro, but still I make rookie mistakes. I thought it's just an easy walk. I should have done my research better. But now you know.
The next adventure started very early, as I had to get up at 4 AM to meet my group and guide for a 2-day trekking adventure to the crater rim of Mount Rinjani.
6:20. We started at around 5-ish. Now at about 1,000 meters. Going strong. Made it to 900 meters of altitude. We're at post 1 now. So if you look here on the map, it's quite some way to still cover. You see the pin on the map? This is where we'll be heading, and this is where we're coming from. So you see it's like almost a straight line going up. This is quite something. It's all the way up, all the time. And I mean, for like the trek itself, we started on, I think 800 meters,
and we go up to 2,600 meters, and this all in one day. So that's why we start so early. And it's all the way up, partially so like the jungle pass. Let's look at that here. Some roots. But the scenery is really nice. You hear the birds. And apart from that, it's quiet. Super nice. And it gets colder, of course, the higher you go up. So I think we're gonna see different climate zones today. Little snack break. Crackers with sugar. Sugar is good. We met our porters. See, look at these guys carrying all this stuff here.
All flip-flops.
All for us. See, for us, and we have small backpacks.
All flip-flops.
Good job, guys. Ooh. Nice viewpoint. All right. This is the first time we step out of the forest, and we can actually see parts of the volcano. Yeah. Woo! We walked all this?
Right.
Crazy. What a ride. Quite steep, but now we are out of the trees. We can see the mountain. We have clouds rolling in. It's kind of mysterious, but also kind of cool. It gives this like an extra touch. And we were pretty lucky actually with the weather that it's not raining, because after all it's the rain season. We are now at 2,100 meters maybe, and the crater rim where you have the view is at 2,600 meters, so we're not that far anymore considering where we started from at like 600 or 800 meters. So we covered quite some distance in matters of altitude. So now it's time for lunch after about, oh, what do we have? Maybe 4.5 hours of hiking up. I'm ready for a big meal. Camping area, post 3. Here the boys are cooking up a storm. Ew! Vegetable. Gado-gado? Ah, nice. So we have gado-gado, we have the egg, we have the nasi, we have the grupuk, and we have tomato. And then comes the dessert and the sauces.
This, thank you. Really amazing.
That's really good.
Because I arrived during the last days before the national park closed, I could only opt in to do this 2-day trek to the crater rim, but there are other multi-day trekking options. The most adventurous and scenic is the 3 or 4-day trek to the summit, which includes a visit to the crater lake, the hot springs, and descents via a different route. Because of the altitude, all trekking options are highly demanding, so you should come prepared and pick a good company with experienced local guides.
Made it to the campsite. Ew!
Well done, man.
Nice. This is where we are. Let's just zoom out a little bit so you know. Yay! So we started all the way up here, where the red pins are, and now we're here, very close to the crater rim actually. So if you look here, that's actually the rim. Alright, here we are. This is our luxury suite. This is it. Nap time. And I hope when we wake up, we can see clearly. Well, that's the situation right now. It started raining, really tense. You can't see stuff, so there's no point in getting wet. We're still hoping though for the morning, that the clouds are clearing in the morning, because now it gets actually to the point where we have sunset, so I don't think we will have a clear view from the crater rim now. So fingers crossed for tomorrow morning. What an adventure. Yeah. .30 in the morning, rough night, super stormy, super rainy. Actually our tent broke, so I had to go around in the middle of the night to try to like find a solution to fix it and secure the tent. See, it's like so crazy winds. So yeah, everything is wet as well, because when the wind is pushing like that, like the tent from the inside is super wet, wets the sleeping bag. As you can see here, everything super damp. So actually I'm ready to go back down. Even the emergency blanket needs to be used in the middle of the night because it was too cold. Yeah, anyway, it is what it is. We're here in rainy season and we knew what we would get ourselves into. And yeah, sometimes you're lucky and sometimes you're not. This time we're not lucky. Anyway, I have some footage I can show you what it would have looked like if we would have had better luck with the weather. This is Rinjani.
Rinjani, standing at 3,726 meters, is Indonesia's second highest volcano. Its last big eruption was in 2010, when it caused evacuations and temporary closures. In the vast archipelago of Indonesia, known for its seismic activity, Rinjani stands as one of the most challenging yet rewarding trekking destinations. Despite its volcanic nature, Rinjani shelters diverse ecosystems, from lush rainforests to alpine meadows. Then, after we got back down, I had a quick nap before exploring more of the Senaru area.
So I got this tip to go to the other side of Senaru, and there's all these rice terraces, and in this afternoon light it's just incredibly beautiful. Look at that.
On the next morning, it was time to continue my road trip adventure to Teteh Batu, which was an interesting ride to say the least.
That was really quite the journey, because I went through all kind of climate zones. I started in Senaru, went to Sembalun, had to stop in Sembalun village, and so I came here to the Bukit Selong, which is a really nice viewpoint actually you can go to, where you see all the farming area just in front of Rinjani. There you go. See, like there's all the farming happening here. And then over there's Rinjani. It's in the clouds today, but no problem. I have some good drone footage for you. And then up into the mountains, it was raining, it was foggy, then through the forest with all the monkeys. Coming down on the other side, it got warm again. I had a little break, and then I came on the other side of the mountain, and here it's super windy, but it's dry and sunny. And now I'm in the rice fields, and this is where I'm staying. Booked myself into this bungalow village here in the middle of the rice fields. This little hobbit house is my home for the next 2 nights, so let me show you. So you
You open this little tiny door here and you come inside. Oopa, let me close that again. Alrighty. There's the bed. And it looks like tiny, but actually here it goes down. So there you see. And now you can actually see that this bed is on a little podest. I have a fan over there. And I got a mosquito net, but he said there's not so many mosquitoes, which is unusual for like a rice field place. We have a sink over here. And then here, this is the bathroom. Alrighty. Yeah, a little bit of a wide angle mode in order to show you that place. It's not as tiny as I thought it would be. It is actually quite spacious. So now I'm gonna have a little welcome drink, and then the family which actually runs this place, they also offer a little bit more than just like the stay. You can do a tour with them and you have dinner with them, so I'm really looking forward to this local experience here in the middle of the rice fields. Good morning. It is time for breakfast here in the rice fields, and I got a very typical breakfast for a homestay. I got a pancake, fruit salad, and coffee from the region. And after that it's time to explore a little bit. So I'm going with one of the family members here on a little tour through the rice fields, to the waterfall. Maybe we see some coffee making as well. I'm excited. Sun is shining. It's gonna be a good day. If you're in Indonesia, this is what all the kids are playing. It's called Lato Lato. You kind of balance the balls, like this, and then, wait, not easy. And then you start. Man, I look like an amateur. Okay, I need some more time in Indonesia, I guess. We are now in the middle of the rice fields here in Teteh Batu. This is our guide. This is Aman. He's showing us around. He's from the family we're staying with. And right now, actually, we're in the middle of the rice field, as you can tell, where the harvesting is happening.
For the normal rice, they need to cut all the tree on the bottom like this. So, and then after they just cleaning like this, so they will mix, prepare to do the harvest. But this one they need to dry after they do harvest like this.
So what we see here, these are like, this is the baby rice, so this is where they put the seeds, and then they take out each little plant, and then they plant it like that.
And then because here we have enough water for the planting the rice, that's why we can use until 3 times a year for the normal rice. So not only rice, but they can planting for the vegetable also, everything they want.
So long beans, and here are the local chilies. This is where the spice is coming from. Have some tomato here as well.
Everywhere.
Okay, waterfall time. This is about the right timing of the day. It's now just before lunchtime. It's pretty hot walking through these farmlands, so I'm happy to take a little dip in the waterfall now. There we go, a little donation of 20,000. All right, there is the waterfall. We're approaching it now, going here through the rocks. Man, it's so cool. We're back in the Rinjani National Park after our lunch break, and now we are in they call it the monkey forest. I think it's just the forest. And there's monkeys in the forest. And they have the black monkey, and they have the gray monkey, which is more common over the island, but here special the black monkey sitting up there. Not sure if you can see that through the GoPro. The black dots. And here's one there hanging on to a branch right there, just chilling. And they also had a lunch break. There's one there in the back as well, sitting. They're all just chilling out.
Oh, this is the nice view for the rice field terrace. It's good.
A big difference also to Bali, comparing like the rice terraces here to, for example, Ubud in Bali, is that one thing you will definitely not have in Bali is a mosque in the middle of the rice field, and you can hear the call for prayer while walking through the rice fields. It's very special experience. And it's also at the same time very quiet here. There's not many people around, it's just the people that farm here. And then every now and then you have a village with a mosque, call for prayer, and all that in front of the Mount Rinjani. So the last stop on our tour is Bale Coffee. So here we can see how the whole coffee process is working. So right now we see the coffee beans are being roasted here over the fire. Ooh. And here we have they're ready already. Coffee in Indonesia is actually became really important. Actually, Indonesia is the fourth largest producer of coffee. So you can actually find coffee on each of the islands. And the way they drink it here is actually super pure, super basic. They take the coffee, they grind it, and then they pour hot water on it, and then you simply drink it like that. What is interesting is that all these coffee farms are really small. So all of what they produce is actually organic. After our tour of the rice terraces, of course, we have to have dinner with a lot of rice. The rice is not here yet, but we're sitting here on the floor. We're sitting with the family here and having dinner together with them. It's a lot of dishes actually we can see here. And the most important part I think is still coming. The rice, of course. Rice from Ahmad's field, and then later on we have something else coming. Sticky rice, I've heard. Oh, that's a big portion.
After dinner,
Oh, big portion of rice.
enjoy your meal.
On the next morning, I was waving goodbye to Aman and his family to drive westwards for some more impressive waterfalls.
Alright, on the road again, heading to the next waterfall. After a 40-minute drive, I am now at the waterfalls I wanted to go to, Benang Stokkel. It's the first one we're visiting. This is my guide, Alpha.
Hello.
And we're now seeing the first one, Benang Stokkel.
Two waterfall here.
The second one is Benang Kelambu.
Benang Kelambu.
Kelambu. Okay. First up, Benang Stokkel. This is the one. Actually two. This is the big one. This is no name. Alright, and now I am at the second waterfall called Benang Kelambu, which means Kelambu means curtain. And if you look at the waterfall, you understand why.
Then, exactly 2 weeks after I started this road trip in Kuta, I made my way back to the tourist hotspot of the island. But now, with a completely different opinion about Lombok, with all its layers I was fortunate enough to experience on this trip. This time around, I used the chance to check out a completely different kind of accommodation.
I'm now back in Kuta, and it's my last few days here in Indonesia, so I thought I'm treating myself for my last few days just to relax, to enjoy. I thought, why not?
So let me show you what this place looks like. So this is the room. Super modern, super cool design. And then you come out here, and there's an AC here. And then outside here, there is the bathroom, and that's my favorite part actually. Look at that. It's basically outside in the jungle. Wow. And here's the shower. Ooh. So you shower the palm tree. So nice. Ew.
On my last day in Indonesia, I met up with some old friends I know from my time in Portugal to go for one last adventure. A little surf trip to a place 2 hours away from Kuta.
Last road trip of my time in Indonesia. So met up with you fellow, just undress there in the back, it's fine. Yeah, we're gonna surf this spot here, right in front of the cliff. That's what you could see from the airplane when we were flying over, landing here in Lombok. That's actually when we saw this cliff here. All right, let's do it. Let's get ready and then let's catch some waves.
The last surf was pretty wild as we had some heavy rain, but I had good company and scored a few waves that made this trip totally worth it. A perfect finish to my time in Indonesia.
And wrapping this trip up, it has been an amazing journey. I put together all my information from the whole trip, everything you saw in the documentary, all the hotels, all the tour guides, all the transfer services I used. What else? The itineraries I did on Java, on Lombok, on Flores. Have put them all together. I have a little bundle which you can use. I put a link down here. It's basically a resource pack if you're coming to Indonesia and you want to just replicate the trip I did. There you find everything you need. Yeah, I think if you're keen to come and you want also to support my work, that's a good way to do it. And as I said, it will save you a lot of time, a lot of money. Click the link below and safe travels to you. Cheers from Indonesia. And we see each other on the next one.